Peace, y'all. Wishing everyone well. Um, I'm feeling like video format just simply works for me right now. I never thought that I would um, be doing videos because I'm like naturally shy actually, and I'm always making sure that I'm not making weird faces like when I'm recording. But anyway. I'm sending you all peace and love, and it was so good to hear and see all of you in the live supervision the other day. It was really helpful um, during that time for me to like be immersed in, that kind of dialogue with everyone. It just made me laugh and took my mind off of a lot of things that are going on right now. So just thank you all for your reflections. Karen. So all of the readings this week, all of the offerings, definitely spoke to my soul and spoke to the way in which I want to practice. I'm so much about how nutrition affects the way in which we think, the way in which we feel, and the level of vibrance and vitality that is injected into our experiences, based off the foods that we eat or don't eat. So, and for me, I've always thought about, you know, part of like intake for a client. One of the questions that I would definitely ask them is like, "What's your diet like? What types of food are you eating?" Because if they tell me they're eating a lot of foods that bring about lethargy or foods that are not mineral or enzyme rich or don't have like, they're not vitamin or nutrient dense and there's no chlorophyll in their diet, that will speak a great deal to their energy levels, their ability to like communicate effectively, to have certain levels of focus and awareness, and just to be present. I think if you're eating foods that are like, just providing you with this electricity, then you are showing up in your experiences in a different way. So that for me was just a perfect reminder, and it just showed like how much in alignment, we all are. So that was definitely like, yeah. And the decolonizing your diet article, the drop the mic moment for me was just about cooking a pot of beans and that being like a sacred and revolutionary act. And anytime I'm cooking like a pot of black beans, and the thing is, I usually buy organic black beans in a can and rinse them because I've cooked black beans from scratch on numerous occasions, and it's like it takes forever. But you do realize, like, as you're stirring the pot and as you're adding the spices and as you're like waiting till the end to add your salt or waiting to the end to add your greens, and realizing that as you're stirring, that it almost feels like after a while that you're being guided. There's no measuring happening. You have no idea. You just know it's a pinch of this, a drop of this, this kind of oil, and then all of a sudden you just have this magnificent pot of beans. And I really do believe that when we cook the foods of our ancestors, they are with us, preparing it and incorporating the breaking of bread into the therapeutic process. I think from time to time is really important because, just breaking bread with someone and sharing or taking the time to prepare food for someone is an act of service, is an act of love. And even taking the time, I even thought about as you were talking, was like if you have a client, from a particular ethnic background, and maybe that you make, something that is indicative of their culture, like really, really well. Like maybe, I don't know, like I could say that I make a really nice chana, and that's like a chickpea dish with like coconut oil, no, coconut oil, coconut milk, a little bit of tomato, curry. It's just a beautiful dish, really easy. And maybe I might have a client that's from the Caribbean or a client from Asia or India or something like that. And them eating that bowl of food or me offering them that cup of tea kind of transports them back to a place where they're like, wow, this is so familiar to me. I haven't had this in forever. And then that might be a place that we could start just talking about that warm feeling that they're having. So thank you for that offering and that reminder, because I was really thinking about practicum and how dope it would be if, like, part of my work in practicum, if I could even get away with it, would be like simply to do like healing nutrition, like to be able to cook good foods and make amazing teas and tonics for a lot of the people. Like I was thinking, like if I worked in a place where, we're servicing mothers, dealing with domestic violence and their children, and like that would be a beautiful gesture to prepare food for those ladies and do a nice little like spread for them in a way in which they've never experienced, kind of just showing them, that they are loved and that their lives are rich and just tasting the love in the food. I think that is the most beautiful thing. And I think that's why I stopped working in restaurants years ago, because I love cooking for people, but when it started to feel like a job, it was just something that I just didn't enjoy. So I stopped doing it. But that's really important. And then I started to think about gardening as like using gardening as an EXA modality, giving someone who lacks trust and confidence or doesn't believe in their offerings, like what they're here to offer, like providing them with the seedling and giving them that to put in the ground and watch over a period of time as it grows. And then go from a place of watching it grow to a place of picking it, putting on a plate, and then making it. And seeing how instrumental they were in taking that food from seed to plate is I think would be really powerful practice. Also, I was thinking about like counseling, like taking it outside of the office, the space wherever you're meeting, and switch it up. I think that's necessary, because I remember years ago when I used to, there was a woman that I used to go see who, she is a licensed psychotherapist, but she also was a Reiki master. She worked with crystals. She did past life regression work, and she also used the talking like Native American drum. And every time I had a session with her, after my session was done, she would always suggest that I go to the park, just to ground, put my feet into the earth and ground and allow myself to become anchored in the new information and the new aspects of myself that had come up as a result of this process. So, yeah, and then I thought about, children, when your child is in the house and they're kind of suffering from cabin fever and they're just kind of bouncing off the walls, and the remedy for that always is taking them outdoors, taking them to the park, letting them run around in nature where there are less constraints and they can just kind of run free without anybody yelling, stop, don't touch, watch out for that. So, yeah, that was pretty much like the I was definitely connected with all of the material, but those are the things that jumped out for me this week, and they were reminders of what I want to continue to incorporate in my practice as I work with clients, and then also kind of guiding me a little more as far as what I actually want to do in practicum. And those are the things that I want to do in practicum. I want to offer people a different view of what therapy can look like, and it can incorporate you getting fed good food, or even learning how to cook as a life skill, and then having community potlucks in order to learn to trust and promote sharing and community, or gardening and really creating a community garden, something that's a group effort, that it takes all of us. All of us are important components of it in order to make it work. And going out, yeah, definitely. Going out in nature, changing the scenery a bit as far as in therapy, getting away from the stereotype that it's about just sitting on someone's couch and, you know, they're sitting with the notepad just jotting down notes. It's like, no, maybe one day we'll go and we'll hike this mountain or this little mini hill, or maybe another day we'll go sit by the water, or another day we'll meet at a botanical garden or something, just be surrounded by beauty. I think those things are very important, and I just thank you for bringing them to the forefront, and I'm wishing you all a great week. And yeah, I'm going to talk to you later. Sorry the video's so long. Peace out. Love you all. Bye.